Right, so I'm just coming back from having done the Box Hill Original Cycling Weekly 105-mile ride. That was tough. Not so much the distance, but the climbing. Hill after hill after hill. I'd done Leith Hill and Box Hill before as part of Ride London. Leith Hill was a bit of a killer on that day. Today, that was a doddle compared to some of the other things I had to deal with. Looking at the course profile, it looked like once you got Leith Hill and Box Hill out of the way, it was reasonably plain sailing. But no, there's a road called, I think it's White Down Lane. Oh my god, I think average is 18%. I think it kicks up to like high 20s. Really nasty. Abinger Hammer, it's called, another one. That was nasty. And then, but the worst thing was after all of that, where I thought Box Hill was going to be the last of the sort of bigger climbs, but it just went up and up and up. Every time you thought, right, that's good, that surely is it for the climbing. Turn a corner, boom, up again. To make matters worse, on the final feed station, it was really badly signposted. It sort of came off the route to go to this feed station, but I didn't know you were coming off the route. I thought that it was part of the route, so I went to the feed station and then carried on down the road that the feed station was on, not realising you had to basically go back on yourself to get back onto the actual route. So I went down lovely steep hill straight out of the feed station and then hit a dead end, and obviously the byproduct of that is I had to go back up that lovely steep hill just to get back up to where I was. So I probably added I don't know, 100 feet of climbing, and that was I think we were probably 85 miles into the ride at that point, so really could have done without it. But all in all, a really nice ride. Ride London was fantastic as an event. It was really brilliant. But I like riding on my own. I like the solitude of it, and that's what this was. I was sort of on my own for pretty much the whole thing, going through some of the most beautiful scenery, parts of Surrey that I didn't even know existed or I've only ever seen flying through in a car. Just peace and quiet. Yeah, you know, yeah, it was painful, I'm not going to lie. I stopped a couple of times with serious cramp, which I've got to try and work on. I'm not quite sure if it's something that I can change that will help me with cramp, but in terms of my energy levels, I felt fine. It's really disappointing. It was the same with Ride London again. It's the cramp that catches me out, but I feel like I can go on a lot longer. In terms of my breathing, my lung capacity and all the rest of it. Oh look, this is quite nice. Cayman GT4 next to me, rather nice. But yeah, cramp, I don't know. I was better than I was in Ride London because I got cramp on Leith Hill in Ride London, whereas this time I cruised up that without any major problems. It was when I got to White Down that I really did struggle, because that is just a killer. But yeah, it's a really enjoyable ride. I'd definitely recommend it to anybody that fancies, you know, challenging themselves. It's a, like I say, it is a lot of climbing, certainly for someone like me. It's, you know, I don't climb that much. I think well, Ride London was the biggest amount of climbing I've done in one ride, and that was something like, I think it was about 3,000 feet. This was 6.5, nearly 7,000 feet, I think, climbing. And it was quite demoralising towards the end, you know, when you know you're close, you know you've not got a huge distance to go. Every time you turn a corner, you see the road pitching up ahead of you, and not just little climbs either. Some of them were as big as like Leith Hill and Box Hill and those sort of things. And when you've got serious miles already in your legs, that's no joke. Some of the surfaces were horrendous as well, which just adds to it. I mean, I'm affected by the road surface almost as much as the gradient, I think. But all in all, absolutely brilliant. Made a couple of changes to the bike from Ride London. I put my Charge Spoon saddle back on, because I realised I've never tried that with a decent pair of bib shorts. I switched to my carbon saddle and with my new Castelli bib shorts, and it was really nice. It worked fine, but you know, after 100 miles it is uncomfortable. There is some discomfort and some pain there. So I thought I'd switch to the Charge Spoon saddle with the Castelli shorts, and definitely an improvement. That was a nice surprise, a pleasant surprise. I still get aches. I think I've definitely got to have a proper bike fit, because I think I'm getting aches in places that I shouldn't really. And I read somewhere that people tend to just sort of put up with it and think that's part of cycling, but apparently a proper bike fit should eliminate all but everything in terms of backside pain, knee pain, all the rest of it. So I think I'm going to do that. But the single best upgrade I made for this ride was contact lenses. As you can see, I'm not wearing my glasses. I'm wearing contact lenses. It just meant that because we were going through a lot of under some real sort of tree canopies and real tree lined roads, and very dark, skinny, potholey roads, and previously I was wearing prescription sunglasses, which are fine for 50% of it, and then you go into a sort of dark tunnel of a road and you have the choice of it being too dark to be able to see a pothole that you just crack into, or you take your glasses off so the light's better, and being prescription, I've got blurred vision. So this was absolutely brilliant. I really was so pleased with the fact that I was able to pop my sunglasses on and off, still have 20/20 vision, and perfectly comfortable as well. So I'm really pleased about that. What else can I tell you about it? I had some of the best energy bar stuff. The Power Bar Energy Wafer, that was delicious, really nice. I'd eat that even if I wasn't cycling. Really nice. I tried again, all of it was by Power Bar because they sponsored it. I tried I think it was a power smoothie, banana power smoothie. That was pretty good, quite a little bit rich, but it wasn't bad. Yeah, and other than that, it was just handfuls of jelly babies. The feed stations weren't bad, but certainly nothing like Ride London. But they kept you going, with energy drinks and bananas, fig rolls, jelly babies. I had a coffee at the second feed stop at the top of Box Hill. So fuel-wise, it wasn't bad at all. Kept me going. It really is just this. I'm assuming it's a lack of salt or something like that, and just general conditioning. But if it wasn't for cramp, I think I'd have done much better. But as it stands, I did it in a time which, according to the website for the ride, and the colour of the medal I got at the end, was within their gold medal category. So they've got average speeds for gold, silver and bronze medal qualification, and I got in the gold, it would seem. So pretty pleased with that. Just driving home now, absolutely shattered. A bit disappointed there wasn't any decent food on offer at the end of the ride, because I really could have done with a barbecue or something. From the videos and the pictures I've seen of previous years, they've had barbecues going on. Definitely could do with a big burger or something. It'd be great now. So sick of the sweet stuff. That's all you eat is sickly sweet stuff all the way around the ride, just to energise you. But could do with something nice and wholesome and savoury. But yeah, really good. Would recommend it. I'm definitely going to try and make a more frequent habit of these sort of longer sportives. Really work on my training. This training was a bit of a mishmash, but again, better than Ride London. Ride London, I was obviously in hospital the week before it, and wasn't able to do any riding in probably for 2 weeks leading up to it. Whereas this, I was ill. Well, I did some good riding last week. Sorry, the week before last, where I managed to get on Zwift quite a bit and put in some decent miles, which I'm really grateful for, because otherwise I would have been screwed. But I got ill again. I'm pretty sure it must be overtraining when there's just an element of a cold or a chest infection or something like that, and it just triggers it off. So I got really ill again at the beginning of the week. Luckily it passed quite quickly, so I was able to put in a few more miles and then rest on Friday and Saturday, and then here we are today on Sunday. And other than cramp, like I say, I felt pretty strong. So I'd like to condition my legs so that 100 miles is kind of the norm. Something I read is that the main cause of cramp is that your body gets conditioned for a certain amount of stress and fatigue, much like a footballer who play 90-minute match, full pelt. If it's a cup game and it goes into extra time, you see them drop it with cramp, because their bodies are so conditioned to play for that 90-minute period. So I would like to ideally be comfortable-ish over 100 miles. So that's my goal, and I think, to be honest, the best way of doing that is for me to quite frequently do some of these sportives. There's one coming up in December, which is it's not as long, but it's sort of 40% road, 60% off-road, and I really like the idea of that. I haven't got the bike for it at the moment, but I might be able to make some adaptations to mine. See how it goes. But yeah, there we go. All in all, just to wrap it up, good ride, very tiring, early start. Bike was fantastic. Oh, I saw some stunning bikes there. Don't get me wrong, I love my bike, absolutely love it. I feel I have a bit of a romantic connection with it, which sounds ridiculous, but I really do. It performs so nicely. But looking around what 90% of these guys turn up on does make me realise I went shopping in the bargain buckets for mine. You know, these are top end stuff. There was a Canyon Air Road 2016 or 2017 Canyon Air Road just to die for. In fact, I think I got that on video. Just so beautiful. So yeah, a lot of bike porn all day long, which was nice. Yeah, that was it. Catch you soon.